happy Sunday and welcome back to my channel. This week we are going to be making some really fun dollar store fall decor, and this is going to be fall and Halloween decor, and I'm super excited. If you know me, you know that I love seasonal decor and seasonal DIYs, so fall and Christmas time are my favorite time to do some really cute, inexpensive, and fun DIYs for your home. In today's video, we're going to be making 5 dollar store DIYs that are all so cheap and so quick and fun to do. They're going to make such good decorative pieces for around your home for the fall season. If you are interested in checking out some fall DIYs, then make sure to like and subscribe so you can see more of my videos. I put out new videos every single Sunday. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to hit that subscription button. We are really trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by December. It's a goal that I'm setting for the channel and for myself, and we would love to have you be a part of our DIY community so that you can see all of the really fun things that we do on this channel. So we're not going to waste any time and we're going to get right into our first DIY. Okay, so for our first dollar store fall DIY, we're going to be making a Hocus Pocus book, and I'm so excited about this one. This is what started the ball rolling with the idea of doing dollar store DIYs for this video. I love Hocus Pocus, I always have, and I think this is just going to be such a fun staple Halloween decor piece in your home, and it really does not require a lot of materials. What you need to do this project is a dollar store book. So I literally got this book at the dollar store. They have a section with just random books. You do want it to be a hardback book. That's the only thing that you need to make sure that you get. Otherwise, the title of the book, what the book's about, it does not matter. You can pick any book that they have that's a hardback. You also need some tissue paper. So I got white tissue paper because we're going to be painting this, so I think this will be easier to paint than something that is dark in color, but really any tissue paper will work. You're also going to need some little plastic eyeballs from the dollar store, Mod Podge, which I already had on hand, but most dollar stores do sell mini versions of this, and as a substitute, if they don't have that and you don't have it, you could also use Elmer's glue. You'll need a little paintbrush and some scissors, and then some hot glue and paints. We're going to work with some brown, gold, and black paint. That is what you'll need, and this is going to be such a simple DIY. To start off, we are going to take the cover off of our book because we don't need this, so we will just throw this away or recycle it, and then we're going to be working with the outside of our book. So I'm going to open it up so that I can work with it, and what we want to do is coat our book in Mod Podge, and then we're going to place some tissue paper over it, and you want your tissue paper to be wrinkly and lumpy and bumpy because the Hocus Pocus book is very textured, and I'll put a picture of the Hocus Pocus book on the screen so that you can see what it looks like and what we're going for. And you want it to have all of that texture. It looks like a wrinkly leather-bound book that has come to life. The messier you are with this, the better. So let's go ahead and open our Mod Podge and take out a sheet of our tissue paper. And really, you may not even need to buy tissue paper. You might have some already on hand from gift wrapping materials or a gift that someone gave you, and you can totally repurpose that and use it here. We'll set our tissue paper off to the side, and we're going to coat the back of our book in Mod Podge completely. And you want to give it a pretty good coat so that your tissue paper sticks really well. So once you pour it on, we're just going to brush it out so that the whole thing is coated really nicely. Alright, so now we're going to take our tissue paper and lay it over really lumpy and bumpy. And then over the top of this, we're just going to give it a light coat of Mod Podge, just to hold everything in place. Okay, so now we will cut off any excess tissue paper. And then we want to just glue down the extra on the inside. So we will set that off to the side and let that dry completely, probably for a couple of hours, if not overnight, so that you can work with it and not have any issues. And then you're going to need your plastic eyeballs. For your plastic eyeballs, you're really only going to need one eyeball. So you have the other ones that you can do other projects with or whatever you want to do. And for this, we're going to need to cut our eyeball in half. All right, so I'm going to use a little box cutter to get mine started so that you can get a little hole going. And then from there, you should be able to fit your scissors in and cut your eyeball. Okay, so you should have a half of an eye like this, and then your blank side. For the blank side, you want to cut that in half as well. All right, so you have something like this, and then just pick your better side. Oops. Just pick your better side, and we're gonna go ahead and glue it on top to make a little eyelid like that. And you can use hot glue, super glue, whatever you have. I'm gonna go ahead and use super glue. This stuff is super strong, and I'm just gonna put a little dot on the inside here. Place my eyeball in how I want it to go. Like so. So we're going to continue on with our Hocus Pocus book now that it is all dry, and this is what it's looking like. So I think it looks really good. If you wanted to really step this up, you could add an actual latch onto it. We're going to do a lot of our decorative elements with hot glue today. The first thing that we're going to do is add on our little eyeball. So to do that, we're just going to attach it with some hot glue, and you're just going to put some hot glue around the edge of your eye, place it where it looks good to you. All right, so for this, the more you glue, the better. You can use a picture of the Hocus Pocus book as inspiration, or you can just kind of go for it and make it your own. I am gonna reference a Hocus Pocus book and then kind of do what I think is right as well. Let's go ahead and add those details. I'm gonna start down the spine, and on the Hocus Pocus book, it has what looks like a snake. We'll go ahead and make it look like that. And you really don't want to be shy with the hot glue because that's what's going to give it the raised texture when we paint it. You don't need to worry too much about it being perfect or messy because this is a more imperfect object. You can always go back and fill it in too if it bothers you. All right, so now that we have our snake on there, we're gonna go ahead and do some of the ribbing and stitching that's on the book. And for this, you can really just kind of make lines however you want going through. And then I'm also going to add in the lock around the eye. Alright, so then we'll go ahead and let this dry, and then we can do the other side as well. For the paint, I'm going to use a few different acrylic colors to get that aged and weathered look. I have raw sienna, raw umber, black, bronze, country twill, and antique gold. You probably do not need all of these, but I have them just so I can kind of mix and match, and I already had them on hand. So we're going to start with our browns and then kind of build up the color as we go to get your desired look for your Hocus Pocus book.
Country lanes and coastal plains, endless views that we're passing through, making our way to a distant place, just us two. somewhere new. We watch the sky fade into.
When you're happy with your coloring, we're going to go ahead and add our stitches in and the little eyes on our snakes. So I'm using this just because I had it and I think it's a lot easier to do. And we're just going to make some lines to create the stitches that are holding everything together.
With you, my arms, nothing can go wrong. We'll fall asleep on a starlit beach. Just
We're going to move on to the next DIY, and that is going to be skeleton taper candles. They have these at Target, and I'll put a picture of those on the screen so you can see a price comparison. But they're super easy to DIY. All you need is one of these little skeleton champagne glasses from the dollar store, a taper candle, and if you would like to, some paint to change the color, but you could totally leave it the same. So this is like a $2 DIY. So I grabbed 2 of these from the dollar store, and what we're gonna do is remove these little plastic champagne glasses from the skeleton's hand. You're going to want to put your skeleton hand in a gallon Ziploc or grocery store bag to kind of hold it while we remove this. So I'm going to put mine inside this little grocery store bag. You need to take a hammer or something heavy that you have on hand to just kind of hit this out. My hammer is outside, and to be honest with you, I don't feel like going and getting it, so I have a little weight that I'm going to use. There we go. Okay, so that popped right out. I'm not sure if you could see it because the bag was in the way, but that just popped right out once you get it cracked a little bit. Super easy, and as you can see, you don't even need a hammer. You can use a boot, a weight, anything heavy to just hit this going around the fingers until it pops out. So super easy, and we're going to do the exact same thing with this one. Okay, there we go. Set free. All right, so now we have 2 little skeleton hands all ready to go. Okay, so the next step for our skeleton taper candles is to take a thumbtack, any thumbtack that you have, and we're gonna glue it into the palm of the hand so that our candle can sit on the thumbtack. These thumbtacks are actually just the bottom of the feet from the vintage sewing machine that I made over in our last video that we popped off when we put the wheels on. So really anything that you have, you can use, you can repurpose. I saved these knowing that I was going to need some thumbtacks, and these will totally work. So we're going to glue them right into the hand.
somewhere new. Just us two.
Okay, so now that we have our 2 thumbtacks glued on, all we need to do for this DIY is take them outside and spray paint them. You could totally leave them the color that they are. I would like for mine to be black instead of this purple color. I just think it's going to go better with my overall decor and style in my home. And I'm also going to be using black taper candles, so I really like that monochromatic, witchy kind of look to them. So I'm going to take them outside and we're going to spray paint them black, and then we'll let them dry and we can pop our taper candle in and they'll be ready to decorate with. So a super easy, literally like a 5 to 10 minute DIY, and it only cost $2 to do.
I'll follow you to somewhere new, somewhere new.
For our next DIY, it's another super simple, super inexpensive one. We're gonna pick up one of these 2 packs of white taper candles from the dollar store. It's $1 for the set, and we're gonna put some warm to hot water into a large container. I'm just using my little baking dish here, and we're gonna be making some ghost taper candles. So you've probably seen this floating around on Instagram and TikTok. I saw this earlier this year, like probably March or April, and I have been wanting to do this DIY since then. I think it's so cute. It's such a fun and easy DIY, and it's so cute and gives a lot of personality to your home. I have been dying to try this, so I'm really excited to do this one today. So we're gonna take our white taper candles. You can do as many as you want. I'm doing 2, and we're gonna pop them into our warm to hot water. Pop them in just long enough so that we can bend them into our ghost shape. We're going to move on to our next DIY. All of these are super, super quick and easy, so you can totally do pretty much all of these in an afternoon or like even a couple hours. For this DIY, we're going to be making a little skeleton candle, and I think this one's so cute. It kind of looks like a little skeleton bath sort of situation, and I'm someone who really loves a candle, so this is a really fun one to have for Halloween. For this, you're going to need a black ceramic bowl from the dollar store. So I picked up this one. It's just a regular old bowl from their like glassware section. You're also gonna need some little mini skeletons. So you can either get them where they're individual. They didn't have that at my dollar store, so I got this little garland, and then I'm just gonna cut the string off. We won't need all 4. You're only gonna need like 2 or 3, and so you'll have some left over. You'll also need some candles from the dollar store. So you can get like those long glass candles that they sell in the candle section and melt those down. I didn't get that because I already had candle wax on hand, so I'm going to be using candle wax that I have. But if you get those long glass ones, you can put them in a pot of boiling water and let the wax melt down, and then you'll just pour it into the bowl and remove their wicks, and you can use those wicks in here. What I will be doing, because I already had a little candle kit, I'm going to take some wicks that I had from that kit, and I'll link that below if you guys are interested in that. It's super convenient and really inexpensive, and it gives you everything that you need to make candles, and I've actually used it quite a bit. So it also comes with these little sticky pads, and what you're going to do for these is peel off both sides so they're sticky, and then we're going to put it in the bottom of the bowl where you want the wick to go. And I have 2 wicks that I'm going to be using, so I'm going to use 2 of these little sticky pads. like that. Then you'll take your wick and you'll just stick it onto it like this so that it doesn't go anywhere when you pour your wax in. So it's really helpful. And then they're just like this, and you can just hold them up when you pour your wax in or use some chopsticks or something like that. So we are going to head to the kitchen and melt down some candle wax. If you're doing it with the dollar store candles, you're just going to put them in some boiling water and let it totally melt down. Okay, so now we have our candle wax all melted, so we're going to go ahead and pour it in and see if we need to make any more to fill the bowl up to the top. So I went ahead and put 2 wooden dowels around our wicks to hold them up straight. We're going to let our candle cool until it's completely solidified, and then we can trim our wicks and our candle will be all done. Alright guys, so for our next DIY, we're going to be making some little ghost pumpkins, and I think these are such a cute little decor piece to have out for Halloween, and truly you could make it so that you remove the ghost portion and then keep the pumpkins out for fall. So I went to the dollar store and I picked up these 2 little ceramic pumpkins. I thought they were really cute on their own, but also would be a really cute one to put little ghosts over. They were $1.25 each because everything at the dollar store is now $1.25. So what we're gonna do is take some clay and we're gonna roll it out flat in just a circular type shape. It does not need to be perfect. Honestly, the less perfect it is, the better, because you want it to be ghost-like and wavy and kind of like misshapen or raggedy on the ends so that it looks more like a ghost. And then we're just gonna lay it over the top and cut out a little face. And because I had a large block of clay, I cut some off of that. And so mine is gray, but if you don't have clay and you're buying clay, I would get white clay because then you don't have to paint it. I'll be painting mine to make it ghost-like because it is gray. So I'm going to take my rings off to work with the clay, and then let's start rolling it out. So I'm just going to get it into an easier shape to roll out. And you want it to be probably like 1/4 inch thick, not so thin that it's going to tear, but you know, thin enough that it's not super bulky. So probably about like this thickness, if you can tell, and just large enough to be able to fit over whatever pumpkin you're using. You can use a small one like I am, or you can use a real pumpkin that's full size, whatever you want to do. And then I have a little cup of water so that I can just kind of smooth out any lumps or bumps that I don't want. And then let's just go ahead and take our pumpkin and lay it over the top. And I think it's probably going to need to be cut down because this is quite a small pumpkin, but that'll give us a better idea of how much. Okay, so I definitely want to cut it down. Okay, so I grabbed a little butter knife and then we can just kind of trim it down to the size that we want. So I'm going to make this stem hole a little bit bigger. And then I'm just going to kind of cut this in a wavy shape. Let's try it again. So what I'm going to do is kind of just like smush it and make little creases where I want them to be to give it a more ghost-like shape. This front portion where it's a little bit longer will be our face. So we'll just smooth that out. For the face, you have the option to either cut the face out and have the pumpkin showing through or paint base on. So I think for my particular pumpkin, I'm going to paint it on. If you had a pumpkin that glowed, I would cut it out. But otherwise, I think you're good to do it either way. So I will let this dry, and we'll do the exact same thing to our other pumpkin. Once they both have dried, probably overnight, then we'll be able to go back in and paint them white and add our little face. Hope that you enjoyed today's video. I think that all of the fall and Halloween DIYs that we did today were so fun and turned out really, really good. Hopefully you give them a try yourself. They're super easy to do. You can get everything at the dollar store, and they're just a really fun DIY to have for some new decor in your home. It's always fun to put out some new decor each season and mix it up a little bit. And don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what your favorite DIY that we did today was. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe so that you can see more of my videos. And next Sunday we will actually be doing a few more dollar store fall DIYs because I just really love this concept and I love giving you guys inexpensive DIYs that you can do that are super attainable to put into your home. So we're going to do a few more next week, and I'll put some of the inspiration pictures for what I'm going for on the screen so that you have an idea of what those DIYs look like. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday.